I think everyone's nervous system is a little bit fucked right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that I've been in survival mode for about 3 years. Does this feel softcore to you?
Yeah.
What, do you need anything else to feel more softcore?
No. I feel softcore. Yeah.
This is my friend Danielle Rubio, and she is a nervous system expert and somatic trauma coach. We are here cozied up together to relax our nervous system. So we encourage you to go grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and join us. We're going to learn about what is the nervous system? How does the nervous system get deregulated? How do we rewire the nervous system and truly heal from within? So get cozy, grab a kitten, and let's learn about the nervous system.
That's nice. Okay.
Co-regulation.
Yeah. So I've heard you say before, if we don't heal at the nervous system level, we don't truly heal. So can we start with let's just summarize, like, what is the nervous system? What is the function of the nervous system?
Sure. Yeah. So when I'm educating people about the nervous system, when I'm talking about it, I'm mostly talking about the autonomic nervous system, which is your automatic nervous system. And your nervous system governs so much about you. I always think about that meme that was going around some time ago that said, I had 99 problems and regulating my nervous system solved 98 of them, because it really is the software system of you. Think of your nervous system, it's your software system, and it's all functioning automatically. So your nervous system is governing everything from your endocrine system to the chemical responses in your body. It's governing organ function. Where I'm specifically concerned is that it's governing your stress response. What I'm meaning when I'm saying things like, if you don't heal at the nervous system level, you don't heal, because a lot of times what people are doing in general psychological fields or medical fields or the self-help industry is they're treating symptoms. And until you get at that nervous system level, then you're continuously like band-aiding, and then your symptoms are going to keep arising because you're not really getting at the root.
That was a really good explanation. Just putting, I mean, this is kind of sad, but just putting it in that digital framework of our software system, you said, that works for me. I was raised with technology. I have an understanding of what that means. So it's good to have that kind of, I guess, metaphor per se. So I have an understanding now. That's a really good way of describing it. Okay, so we know a little bit about what the nervous system is now. So what is nervous system regulation, and why is that so important?
To make it really simple, is basically your nervous system is moving, and remember, this is automatic, so it's automatically moving from its different states easily. So if the nervous system senses a threat, it's going to go into a fight or flight or a freeze state, to keep this all very simple. But once that threat is over, the nervous system is going to go back into what we call a social engagement, or a resting, a homeostasis place where it's just chilling. So it's regulated. It's regulating itself. It's moving through these different states of being alarmed and not being alarmed automatically, easily. Nervous system dysregulation is when that's not happening. So the nervous system is essentially getting stuck in a flight response, or it's stuck in a freeze state, or it's in a very hypervigilant state where it's constantly getting alarmed over very mild stressors.
What are some examples of how that can happen? I think I have put my nervous system through absolute hell, which I will share with you in a moment. But I would like to understand a little bit more about what those specific stressors can look like.
So how does the nervous system become dysregulated? Well, so it becomes dysregulated because of trauma. So now we need to define what is trauma. So in my field, trauma is anything that overwhelms the nervous system to where it's not automatically, easily going back to a place of rest once it's aroused, once it's in an alarmed state. And so it's different across the board for different people, because everybody's had very unique life circumstances. Everybody has very unique states of where their nervous system is at and their programming. So it's not like one thing is going to dysregulate everybody's nervous system, or one traumatic event is going to dysregulate everybody's nervous systems. It's more like if a person has had a lot of experiences in their life that we call adverse events, or they've had a lot of moments in their life where that nervous system became overwhelmed, something like constant stress, or as a child there was any sort of abuse, or maybe even there was a huge accident, and then maybe there was a big surgery that happened. So the nervous system becomes overwhelmed, and then that sort of is like the nervous system's MO. That's the mode of operation of the nervous system, is it's stuck in fight or flight or freeze, and therefore it's dysregulated. So usually what happens is that it's not these one-time events. So usually when a child experienced, some form of emotional dysregulation, or the parents were not regulated in their own nervous systems, and then that child ends up having a surgery or other, things that we would call like big T traumatic events, it sort of starts compounding on itself. And then it's wired, if you think about a software system analogy, again, your nervous system is sort of wired for stress. And it just keeps compounding and compounding, because then as the nervous system is wired for stress, then that child, as their brain's developing, they're going to start developing their coping mechanisms. They're going to start developing their belief systems all around a dysregulated nervous system.
And then what happens?
Well, then that's their software system in their life. And then that person generally is someone who, going into adulthood, is high stressed. They're highly anxious, have high functioning depression. If it continues, then we're looking at things like, potential contribution to autoimmune disease, to MS, to diabetes, to bigger diseases, because your body is always trying to find its way to homeostasis. Your body is always trying to heal. That's the good news, is that we look at the nervous system as it's plastic, neuroplastic. That's where that term comes, neuroplasticity, is that we can change all of this. So what my hope is, and what my colleagues' hope is that if we can get to enough people to teach them this education, then as adults, they can actually reprogram all of that happened. It's very rare that I've come across, at least the women that I work with in my program, that their stresses that they're coming to me with, it's just about that stress. 10 times out of 10, there's some stuff in childhood that they already had a dysregulated nervous system before this job firing came along, or before this divorce came along, or before this whatever it is that then brings them to me, or brings them to a practitioner to help them with their stress. Once you get in there, you realize the nervous system was already dysregulated and already needed a rewiring to happen, probably from decades ago.
What happens if someone is not, lucky enough to have the opportunity to heal their nervous system? What happens in the long run?
We're going to see things like they're constantly hypervigilant for stress. So if you think about, somebody who's been in a constant state of flight, for example, a flight state of their nervous system their whole lives, they're just going to start saying, this is who I am. I'm highly stressed, or I'm OCD, or I'm all these labels that we have, when at the root of that is you're stuck in a flight response, and you've been stuck there for decades. And then all these coping mechanisms started getting formed because your nervous system was constantly sensing threat, or things like the door not being locked is causing an alarm state in the nervous system, because the software system needs a reprogramming. And so then this person ends up, labeling themselves as I'm OCD, or I'm highly anxious, or I'm like this in partnership, or I'm like this as a mother, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they end up just kind of like piling it on and piling it on and piling it on. And then comes the chronic disease, essentially, that starts to come in because the whole system, remember, the nervous system is governing so much about you. So if it's so busy, constantly being alarmed by stress, how's it going to take care of your immune system? Right? How's it going to take care of your endocrine system? So then the dominoes start to fall eventually.
Got it. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to get real here for a second because what the fuck else do I do? Okay. I don't know if you know this about me. I do have a video about this. I'm going to link that here. So I healed a neurological condition called misophonia. Do you know about this?
You have told me about this in the past in little bits. Yeah.
Okay. I used to be very closeted about it. There was a lot of shame. That's not what this video is about. Okay. So I am in the current throes of actually healing this, which, by the way, I never thought I would heal. Now it turns out that this okay, just for those of you who don't know what misophonia is, it's an extreme sensitivity to sound. That's how it shows itself. So this was created from trauma, which I had no fucking idea about until about a year ago. I discovered hypnosis, which led me to understand that this was caused by trauma, which is then, something that you can heal. So here I am. I mean, I can't even believe I'm creating a new life for myself, but I haven't had any kind of nervous system regulation through this process. So I did the hypnosis slowly through the months, started to heal, continued the hypnosis. I'm still on this journey, but it's 90% reduced, which is I'm creating a new life for myself. So can you just share with us a little bit about what that actually means when our bodies, like, I don't understand, trauma lodged itself in my brain? Like, what does that mean? And how does that happen?
It's not so much like trauma's like lodged in the brain. We want to look at like your whole body as this whole ecosystem. And I think that that's where we've gotten into a lot of trouble in our medical systems and psychological systems, is we're very like, there's like the brain and there's the body. When the brain is in the body, this is like all one somatic ecosystem. Soma means body. So being a somatic trauma coach, like I'm treating this all as it's an ecosystem, and it's not just the brain sending signals to the nervous system or sending signals to the body how to respond to stress. Actually, 80% of the communication between nervous system and the brain is going nervous system up. So it's going body up to brain. So I think a big thing to understand about trauma, because I find there's still kind of a stigma around trauma where there's a shame. People don't want to say that they've had trauma, when really, like I mentioned at the beginning, trauma is simply the nervous system became too overwhelmed that it couldn't regulate back to a place of homeostasis. So if you think about, like, I always bring in animals in the wild, because I think that humans really got in a lot of trouble the less wild we became. And that's how I came into, my Instagram handle is a woman reclaimed. And so a woman reclaiming herself, part of that is her wildness, reclaiming that. And I think, of course, for men too, reclaiming that connection to nature, that connection with the wild. Because if you look at animals in the wild, they have very regulated nervous systems. So that gazelle might be chased down by a lion, that's high fight flight. That's very extreme fight flight. And it gets away. So why does the gazelle not end up with PTSD? So its nervous system is very regulated. So that gazelle, once it's sensed the threat is over, it's going to regulation. It's going back to homeostasis. It's going to go back to grazing the grass, and it's good to go. So in humans,
Wait, how does the gazelle regulate?
it's automatic. It's just automatic.
The system is doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatic.
Okay.
It's automatic nervous system. And so, humans, by and large, we're doing that constantly as well. Our nervous systems were very regulated. I don't know exactly what's happened that's caused humans to become so chronically dysregulated. I mean, our lifestyles are incredibly more stressful than they ever were, but for the span of human evolution, we've been running from predators for a long time. So, I think it has a lot to do with we've become less and less wild. We're now inside walls all the time. We're not in connection with the trees, with the soil, with the other animals. So I think there's a big piece with that. But just to come back to kind of explaining trauma a bit more, so people understand that the really, really, really good news about what you're experiencing and what so many people that are healing from like strange illnesses, right? Like illnesses or chronic conditions where you're like, nothing's helping, like nothing is fixing this. Doctors can't explain it. The best news about trauma is that it's not about the event. If it was about the event, we'd be in big trouble. If it was like everybody who got in a car accident, trauma, because then how do you heal that, right? Because you can't take away the event. You can't take away that there was abuse, or you can't take away that there was neglect or there was abandonment. So if trauma is about the event, we're screwed. But it's about how your nervous system responds to that trauma, to that event. And we can change that. We can rewire that. And it is working with the subconscious. It is working with the nervous system is essentially working with the subconscious. So much of it is not of higher thinking brain. And that's coming full circle to what I'm saying, and that you have to heal at the root level. This is why talk therapy often doesn't work. That's of higher brain. And we've got to go deeper than that. We've got to go further back in the subconscious. We've got to work with the nervous system. And in my field, in the somatic field, we've learned that the best ways to do that is via the body.
Whew. Oh my God, I can just feel my nervous system relaxing, knowing that there's hope.
Oh yeah.
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 So, okay. So I've shared one of my personal journeys, another one that I know that you can relate to. I actually don't know about your healing journey, but I know that we've both suffered from very severe insomnia. And I know that this is very common right now. Again, life stressors. I mean, okay, in addition to things like insomnia, or let's just say sleep issues, even more. I mean, it's an epidemic. Loneliness, wars, climate change, fucking elections. So we have a lot of stressors here. I would love to learn some practices to understand how we can begin that process of nervous system regulation.
Another reason we've gotten ourselves into the mess collectively as humans is we've become very disconnected to our bodies. And so that's one of the avenues that needs to be taken in this healing journey, is to first of all treat your whole body as this ecosystem that's working together, and start connecting with your body, start connecting with your felt sense, and to put that more simply, connect with what you feel. So keep it simple at first. If you have to pee, go pee.
I have to pee.
Oh, go pee.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I peed and I found a kitten. I think this will help us.
Well done.
Thanks.
So listen to the body, just like Lila just did. When you have to pee, when you have to eat, when you're thirsty, drink. You'd be surprised, just that little instruction, how often you're not listening to your body. Besides listening to your hunger cues, thirst cues, feeling your emotions. If your nervous system's dysregulated, you're not going to have emotional regulation on board. But to keep it really simple for people just starting out, do your best, just even a couple minutes a day, to just pause, sit down, feel what you're feeling, feel those sensations. A lot of people, it's easier to feel sensations before they feel emotions. So feeling that achy back, or the belly gurgles or the headache, allowing yourself even just a few minutes to feel, and then starting to work your way up to when you're sad. Can you allow yourself even just 5 minutes, set the alarm? Can I just be with this? Can I, without needing to make it go away, can I allow my body to feel this? So we feel to heal. And that's something to really, if anything, take that away from this episode, is to feel to heal. So if you can simply start connecting with your body, if you can remember that part of this path of unwinding trauma and alchemizing trauma into wisdom is to feel. You're going to have to feel your way to the other side of that dark tunnel. Each person's nervous system is stuck in a different place, and each person has different trauma. So what I give people is very unique to each person, but this one practice I give to every single person, and it's orienting. We're essentially exploratory orienting to our environment, just like if you go observe your animal friends, they're doing all the time. You can start with any sense you want, but we're going to go through the 5 senses. So you would simply pause. You can be inside or outside, and you're going to start with that sense of touch. You don't have to. I like to start with touch. And so you're dropping into the sense of touch as if it's the only thing happening in existence right now. So I want to remind everyone that there's a very big difference between thinking about feeling and feeling. And it takes practice. So simply feel that sense of touch. Notice the clothes touching your skin. Notice your hair touching your skin, or maybe even the air touching your body. Simply noticing everything that sense of touch is sensing. And then move into your sense of hearing. And when you're doing this on your own, you can stretch out each sense for as long as feels good to you. You move into your sense of hearing. Again, simply hear the sounds. You're not analyzing sounds. You're not even labeling sounds. You're simply hearing. And then move into taste and smell. And there might not be anything there, but you're just noticing. Is there anything you're sensing with taste? Anything with smell? And then move into sight. And you actually want to let your eyes sort of look around, taking in what you see. Again, you're just simply seeing. You're seeing. You're not analyzing. We're not in the thinking brain. We're in our senses. And one of the things I find so beautiful about this practice is that your senses can only ever be right here, right now. It's going to get you very present doing orienting. And then lastly, I want you to put the 5 senses together. So you're dropped into your sense of touch, you're dropped in to hearing, to taste and smell, and to sight. And then you can, again, spend as much time as you want. If you're a really busy person, at least even just 5 minutes a day. I suggest right when you wake up, orient. Just drop into your 5 senses, letting your eyes look around as you do it, because your eyes looking around is also signaling to your nervous system that you're safe. The whole practice is signaling to your nervous system that you're safe. If you think about, a deer caught in the headlights, that is defensively orienting. We are exploratory orienting. So it's bringing you into your body, connecting you with the present, bringing you into the felt sense, and it's signaling to your nervous system that you're safe.
I don't know if it's your relaxing voice or that exercise, it was definitely the exercise. Like literally the moment you said just feel like the touch, and I felt this soft robe, and then immediately everything slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the next one we moved into? It was touch,
Hearing.
and then hearing. Like all of the stresses, all of the extra thinking. I mean, it is also kind of like a form of meditation, I guess, but it's like everything else went away.
Yeah.
Like you said, and then you said it's like it brings us into total presence. So I just that little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel so much more relaxed.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine working with this girl. I want to work with you.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Highly recommend that, guys. If you didn't do it with us, go on and give that a shot, because look at me. I feel like a mush ball. Wow. Are there any other exercises you want to share with people, or was that's the main?
I mean, I think that's the main one. And also even just set your alarm 5 minutes a day and feel your feels, feel your feelings. No matter what's there, you're going to set an alarm, right? So you're not going to drown. So even if it's heartbreak, even if it's anger, it's just your automatic, no matter what's happening in your circumstance in life, 5 minutes a day, feel what you're feeling inside. And if that feels like holy shit, then start with what you feel physically, like your heartbeat, your breath, your achy back. But then eventually over time, let that include emotions also.
Amazing. I want to continue digging into this work big time. And if you want to work with Danielle, which I highly recommend, because I'm just feeling so much more. I was feeling a little strung out before, actually major big time. Yeah, I hardly slept last night. How can people find you?
The easiest way is Instagram. So I'm at A Woman Reclaimed. And you can find links to everything on my Instagram, and my feed is full of exercises and tools. It's full of it. So at A Woman Reclaimed.
I saw that and I was learning a lot just from looking at your Instagram. Also, you have a lot of free classes. I'll link her Instagram below. And if you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button and join us for more. This was just really cozy.
This was really cozy.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Love you. Bye. 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 Bye.